Okay. Benicio receives an invoice from MTZ Equipment and Storage dated March the 1st, 2019 for $920 with terms 4/6, 3/16, and N/30. This invoice was paid on March the 7th, 2019. And you asked to do 3 calculations, and it says here to round the answers to the nearest cent if necessary. Okay, now in these questions, we have to first decipher how many days elapsed from the date of the invoice, in this case, March the 1st, 2019, to the date when it was paid, March the 7th, 2019. Now, if you look at the 7th, it's 7, and March the 1st is 1. So 7 minus 1 gives us 6 days, or if we wish, we could indeed put March the 7th, all right, to be correct. And then we could put minus. Of course, it's very awkward to speak like this, but for our illustration, I guess we can say, let's look at it this way. So 7 minus 1 gives us the 6 days. If you wish, you 7 minus 1, and that gives us 6 days. So 6 days have elapsed from the time, or has passed, since the date of the invoice on March the 1st, 2019, to when the invoice was paid. All right, so that's when it was paid. And this up here is the date of the invoice. Okay, so we have the 2 numbers and we've calculated how many days. Now, what about discounts? This is what terms relate to. 4/6 here is explained here. It means that if the invoice is paid within 6 days, meaning from 1st to the 7th, then that is 6 days. So 4% discount if paid within 6 days from the date of the invoice. So the first number relates to the percent, all right there. And the second number relates to the number of days, all right, after the date of the invoice until it was paid. So let's use a different color just to distinguish between the 2 numbers. 3/16, you probably would anticipate by now, would be 3% discount. All right, maybe I should cover the discount so you know it is a discount. All right, 3% discount. So it's after 6 days, so day 7 to day 16. Correct? So that is what that period will cover. Now, after 16 days, so from day 17 to day number 30, there will be no discount. All right, but the invoice needs to be paid. So N you can say N stands for no discounts or net. I guess net would probably be the more appropriate term or more correct term, meaning there's no discount. All right, so this invoice was paid 6 days after the date. So it means it falls into this category. The 6 days is right there, so a 4% discount should be applied. Okay, now this is a little bit of an illustration here. 6 days, 7 to 16 and 17 to 30. All right, so 4% discount, and the invoice was for how much? Well, it was for $920, correct? Right up there, that is the amount of the invoice. So if we're getting 4%, we have to calculate 4% of 920. We can go 4% times 920, and we get the answer of 36.80. That would be the discount right over here. All right, we could put it in bold if we wish, and if you would like to take off the color, then that is fine. All right, so 36.80. So how much was paid? Well, you got a discount, so the amount of the invoice was $920. the discount was $36.80. So if we subtract, sorry about that, we had a little problem there. I guess we undo and we're fine now. So 920 minus 36.80. Now, you know by now, if you have that negative in front of the number, we could just make the number negative and then add to the number that goes before, or the number that we're subtracting from. So we add 920, and that should give us the proper result. So in this case, the amount paid was $883.20. If we wish, we could go to bold. And if you wish no color, then, whoops, sorry, no color, then we will have to get no color. All right, so let's see. And there we got rid of the color. All right, so there we are, and we are back. We are finished with that question. Now, this is just another, it's the same kind of a question, but here it's an illustration of where you have the discount on the second term. All right, now, so Sunny receives an invoice from Lowe's dated November the 5th, 2012. So let's highlight that so we can see it. And it's for $900. That might be important also. Of course it is, because it's how much that needs to be paid. Now terms 7, 5, 3, 20, and 33. By now you know that the first number, so this would get a 7% discount if paid within 5 days from the date of the invoice. This would be 3% paid after 5 days, but within 20 days after the date of the invoice of November the 5th, 2012. And there's no discount after 20 days or from the 21st day to the 33rd day. There's no discount, but the invoice must be paid. So the invoice was paid when? Well, it was paid on November the 20th, 2012. All right, so here we go. So 20 minus 5 is what? How many days? Well, it would be 15 days, but let's say we just delete this for a minute and maybe come down in here and go. So we're November 20th. So let's use some abbreviation, November the 20th minus November the 5th. That's equal to, we can just take the numbers themselves, 20 minus 5, and that would give us 15 days. All right, so 15 days is the number of days that elapsed or passed before the invoice was paid. Okay, so 15 days. So how much was the amount of the discount? Well, if you look at the discounts, 7% for 5 days. Now we're past 5 days, 15, but 15 is less than 20. So 3% if paid after 5 days, but before 20 days. So we're in that region of the 20 days or the 6 to 20. So this is the 15th day. So we are eligible for 3% discount, and this is the 3% that we have here. 3% times 900 should give us this answer of 27. Maybe we can put it in bold. And if you wish, you could put in the $sign just to indicate that we have some money. All right, so let's go 3%. So 3% times 900, and that gives us $27. So how much was paid? Well, the amount paid is the amount of the invoice minus the discount. So it's what we could do as we would normally do, or I guess we know to do. We can just make the 27 negative and then add 900. Okay, and that gives us the result of 873 right here. And there we are. Now, if you wish to do it the orthodox way or the usual way, or maybe going from left to right, we go 700 minus 27, and that gives us 873. And this would be, yes, it would be dollars. And if we wish, well, we could decide to bold the dollars so everything looks uniform. And I guess maybe it looks better overall. All right, now here is another one. ISFA receives an invoice from Staples dated March the 5th. So that's the date of the invoice, March the 5th, 2019. And the amount is $670. Maybe we should get the dollar sign in there. And there we are. So that's the important information. You're in business, you're business kinds of people, so you're interested in numbers. Now the terms, these are the terms, 6% if paid within 7 days, 1% after 7 but before 18 days, and then no discount after the 18th day, but the invoice must be paid by the 29th day. Now the invoice was paid on March the 25th, 2019. So there we are. So March the 5th, sorry, March the 25th minus March the 5th would give us 20 days. That is correct. But let's say we maybe just delete this and our normal procedure, we can go and put in March the 25th and then subtract March the 5th. And then we could put it in numerical expression as 25 minus 5, and that gives us 20 days. And then we could go and we highlight the 20 days, and it looks, or sorry, bolded the 20 days. So 20 days passed before the invoice was paid. So 20 days puts us where? Well, it's past the 7 days for sure. It's past 18 days also. So there is no discount because we are past the 18th day. This is the 20th day. So the amount of the discount is indeed 0. If we wish, we could bold it, and then we could remove the highlighting if we so desire. And so the amount that would be paid would be the original amount of the invoice, which was $670. Okay, so there we are. And that is how you do these kinds of questions. So there are 3 illustrations. One is no discount, as you can see here. One was it was in the second period of the terms, so 3% in 20 days because this was paid within 15 days. And then at the very beginning, there was one that got the maximum discount. In this case, it was paid within the 6 days. So the terms right here, that made it eligible, made the payment eligible to receive the 4% because it was paid within 6 days.